So today I'm going to talk about citations, just like Aaron said. So why are citations important? Well, back in the early days when Google was constructing its database of local businesses, a lot of them didn't have websites. They had hardly any presence whatsoever, but they did have all these yellow pages listings. So Google built its local database based off of business listings that they were pulling off the web. So David Mim put this really great sort of Whiteboard Friday together where he talked about how Google generates its business listings. They come from so many different sources. So they come from government sources. They come from the primary data aggregators. They come from user input, like the business owner himself, Google Street View, MapMaker, just out on the web. So basically, Google is compiling all of this different business information and has to map it. It's like, okay, well, is this that business or is it a different business? It's trying to map it all into one canonical listing at Google. And so, like here's data that comes in on this one, and they're matching on the name, address, and phone number to put all of this together. And you see the same thing with InfoGroup. So InfoGroup's getting all of its data from all of these sources. They put it together. They sanitize the data, remove duplicates, and then eventually it ends up in their database. Another thing is that local search experts agree that citations are important. It's number 3 and number 4 on the important local pack ranking factors. The competitive difference makers, it's number 2 and 4 are, so citations play a big role in your local search rankings. So you probably want to deal with them. So this is the local search ecosystem. It is a complicated mess. It's basically being fed by InfoGroup. So InfoGroup distributes to all of these sites. Axiom is distributing to these sites. We've got Localese distributing all over the place. So all of this data is being fed around the web, and Google's picking it all up. So on average, 20 to 40% of your data out there is wrong. It's a big mess. So there's so many different sources, so many different places that data is coming from. It's very typical for it to be wrong. So let's talk about auditing those citations. So step 1, you want to gather your NAP data. We have a nice little template for this. So you can download it here. That'll be in the slide decks. And it looks like this. So we just ask our clients. We give this to our clients and say, hey, give me all the past business names, like your current and your past business names, your current and past addresses, current and past phone numbers. There's more to it. It also has, any websites. A lot of clients will have multiple websites. So we collect all this data, and then other businesses collect all that. So once you get that from the clients, often they forget that we used to have this old fax phone number, or we used to have this old, when we started the business, we used the company owner's mobile number. So you can actually search in Google to find some of these variations. So if you take the business name and remove the phone number that you know of, and all the phone numbers that you know by putting a minus, you'll often find variations. And so this is a little tip. You can use this thing called Link Clump. This is a little plugin in Chrome. You just right-click and drag down. It'll open them all up in one shot. So it helps you to do this research. So here's the phone variation I found. I did not know that this phone number existed, so I found it by doing this search. As you discover them, so now that I found that other number, I can throw that into there and exclude that one too, see if I find another one. Oh, look at that. So I'll run this query again. Oh, now I'm on to addresses. So same thing you do with addresses. You got a portion of the business name, your phone number, and then exclude the address that you already know to see if you can find another address. And look at that. I found one. This is a different address that business exists at. Just like you did with phone numbers, as you find more addresses, you can remove them from your queries. So you can also do it with business names to find different variations of business. Take the phone number, subtract the business name, and see what you get. Oh, look, this is this same address, same phone number, but a different business name, Sound Health Management. So you can sort of use this strategy with Google to dig up all of these different NAP variations. You can remove that. So keep track of everything in a spreadsheet. That's also in the little template I gave you. These are the NAP variations. Once you have all of these, you know what you're looking for out on the ecosystem when you're doing your audit. It's really important to start with these offline data sources. So that is, your IRS records, Secretary of State, that's your business registration, city county records, bank accounts, phone company, utility accounts, professional licensing bodies. All of these have your data, your business data, and sometimes they're wrong. And when they're wrong here, they end up getting out into the ecosystem. So this is really your first line of defense. You want to start here and clean this up. Next, you want to find online sources of business data. So Moz Local is great for this. So you'll just put in your business information. It'll find these variations for you. And then it'll give you this really awesome report, and it'll show you your listings on some of the most important sites. And these ones are all missing the web URL, so that's good to know. Okay, I'm missing the web URL. I can update those. And this one has the wrong phone number down here. So we can find all these different listings on Moz Local. The aggregators are extremely important. From the local search ecosystem, you saw that they feed all of those other sites, so you really want to make sure you clean up those aggregators. You can also run them through the local citation finder. This is software we have. If you have all that spreadsheet of NAP variations, you can put them all in here. If you put the name in quotes, and then the phone number, and then the different name in quotes and the phone number. So you can run all of these different variations through the local citation finder and get various citation counts like this. So, there's 105 with that variation, 123 with that, only 22 with this variation. And then you can just view the sources to see where they are. MapMaker is really important. If you've got multiple listings in MapMaker, then those will end up in Google. So you want to check MapMaker, see if you have any incorrect listings there. So let's talk about best practices in general for citation cleanup and building. This is a really important one. Make sure that all of the work that you're doing with citation building is done with an email address on the domain. So don't use a Gmail or a Yahoo or something like that. A lot of these sites won't respond to you. With Google, it helps connect your business and your account with your business. Same thing in MapMaker, Yelp, and all the key industry sites. So it just adds a lot of trust to your requests for updates. And if you call Google on the phone, they want to see that. Just know that you're authorized to manage that business. Prep work, gather 5 photos, logos, so put it all into a spreadsheet. Make sure you have all of the information you need to go out there and update, enhance, and build new citations. Plan for phone verifications. So a lot of these sites will call you. How we deal with phone verification at WhiteSpark is we typically coordinate with whoever answers the phone at the business and say, hey, we're going to be doing these phone verifications on Tuesday morning. So block off half an hour on your schedule, and then we call them and say, okay, we're going to start sending these things through, and then we get on like a little chat with them. So we'll either use GChat or Skype, and as the phone verifications come in, they GChat the codes to us, and we put them on the website. So we go through, we do them all for them, and they send us the codes, and we verify the sites. So prioritize your citation audit cleanup work. Number 1, offline sources. 2, get those primary data aggregators fixed up. Number 3, industry-specific sites. So this would be, if you're a lawyer, it would be Lawyers or Avo. Those are really important sites to get fixed up. Number 4, I would go to your city-specific sites. So, ChicagoBusinessListings.com, those kinds of sites. Make sure that your listings are correct on those. And then the top 50 other citation sites. So that would be, I'll show you a picture of what those are. And then others. And so if you want to go beyond that, then there are, I would suggest just sorting your audit file by domain authority. So we have this document, the top local citation sources by country. So this is compiled by Nyagislav Zhekov. If you know of him, he's really expert on citations, and he has analyzed all of these sites and put together this list of the top 50. So these are the top 50 I would recommend you go through. Best practices is to track your progress. So as you work through everything, make sure you keep track of it. What's the URL, the business name, address, zip, phone, website URL. What are you supposed to do on this one? So this one we need to claim and enhance. This one we need to claim, fix, and enhance. This one is a duplicate. We want to delete it. So you're basically just going to keep this, as you build your audit file, just keep track of everything in a nice spreadsheet. This is also in the template. Make sure that you use the same NAP plus W. Do you know what the plus W is? It's website. So name, address, phone number, and website. Make sure that you're using a consistent name, address, phone number everywhere. On your own website, if you're a small business, then you'll probably make sure that your name, address, phone number is on your home page. If you are a sort of larger brand with lots of locations, then you'll want to make sure that it's all on the individual location pages. Maximize relevant category usage. So as you are claiming, updating, building citations, make sure that you add as many possible categories on each site as possible. And so Moz has this great sort of guide to the various categories on different sites. A compelling description is much more important than a keywords in description. You don't want to spam it. Make sure that your description is compelling the user to that you are the business that they want to work with. So, and you don't need to worry about duplicate descriptions. So a lot of people think, oh, do I have to have a different description on every site? Do duplicate content? That's not an issue. You don't have to worry about that. Just write a really good one description. You can use that on all your citations. When I mention this here, same NAP everywhere, don't stress about the little things. So that would be like, it's kind of hard to see here, but you know, avenue versus av, or apartment versus APT. There's all of these different possible variations. And what happens is that Google normalizes data that it finds out on the web. So as it encounters an address, different sites will format addresses differently. And so Google needs to be able to say, well, what is this business's business information? And so it normalizes it, runs it through a normalizer, and then it gets associated with the listing at Google. So there are all these little variations, and Yagoslav put together this great document about the different types of variations you don't have to worry about. So refer to this. So phone number, for example, some people stress about if it's in 555 - or if it has the brackets for the area code. Not an issue. The one issue with the phone number you do need to worry about on your own website is dots. Don't put your phone number in dots. With dots separating them, use dashes or the area code version. So don't use call tracking on your citations or on your Google listing. That will create NAP consistency issues all across the ecosystem and be a big, big mess. So don't do that. But don't stress about call tracking on your own website if you do it properly. You can do call tracking on your own website, no problem. You can either obfuscate the tracking number from Google with an image, and then put the real number in an alt text, or you can use JavaScript replacement. So companies like CallRail, they basically you have your HTML that has your regular phone number, and then on load, CallRail's JavaScript will swap it out with the other thing. And CallRail also does a good job of detecting Googlebot. So if it's Googlebot, it doesn't swap out the phone number. So that kind of a process is fine too. So duplicate discovery and cleanup. Wouldn't it be nice if you could just tell Google, hey, these are my old phone numbers. Oh, and these are the other business names that I'm known as. Well, you can. Right in here, in your Google My Business dashboard, you can add a whole bunch of different phone numbers. You can just keep adding as many phone numbers as you need. You just click Add More Contact Information. So what you're doing is you're saying, yeah, we are also known by this phone number and that phone number. So put all of that into Google. Whether that solves your citation cleanup problem or not, I don't think so, but might as well do it. It only takes you 2 seconds. So just put all those extra phone numbers in there, and you can do the same. And then in MapMaker, right now MapMaker is shut down because spammers destroyed it. So once they bring editing back to MapMaker, you should be able to come in here and edit your record, and you can add variations of your business name, and you can also add variations of your phone number in MapMaker. So that helps basically connect all of that extra information. You're telling Google, this is also my business. It really helps them. So after you do that, I suggest Moz Local, because Moz Local will get you into all of the data aggregators and help to clean up all that. Really important. So Moz Local has this really great alternate thing where you can add all those alternate names. I'm known by these 2 different names, one with a space, one without. Here's our address, and then if you have different phone numbers, you can add them all in here, and you'll update alternates, and then Moz Local will find all of the different variations for you within the sites that they have. And the sites that they have are the most important sites, the data aggregators. So this is a really great thing to do. Then you can do Google searches or Local Citation Finder. So you can search for NAP variations in Google. So you'll put in, business name in quotes with that. You can use the Moz bar to export all that stuff. So if you want to just get all that data quickly, throw it in into a CSV using the Moz bar. The free Moz bar will do that for you. You can also run through the LCF. I showed you that earlier. You can collect all your citations in here. One thing about the LCF that's a bit of an advantage of doing it through the search results is that the LCF filters out a bunch of garbage. So like reverse phone lookup sites, what is my domain name worth type sites, all of that stuff will get filtered out automatically through the LCF, so that's handy. And then search directly on the important sites. So sometimes that information doesn't get pulled from the local citation finder or from Google searches, and so sometimes it's good to go directly to the site and search for your business. You might find variations of your business that you didn't know existed. So in our citation audit and cleanup service, we always search directly on the site. And then you can also do this. You can do a site colon search, site colon super pages, put in the phone number, and you might find those listings as well. So these are actual citations, like actual business listings, and then these are all just the category pages. So this is, veterinary clinics in the city. It's just a list of all the category pages. So these are the two citations. Again, what sites are important? These top 50, I would go through and manually check on those top 50 sites. So general cleanup process. So you've found an incorrect listing. What do you do with it? First and foremost, the best thing you can do is claim that listing. You're claiming ownership of that listing, and then you update that listing. Perfect. If you have that option, great. But a lot of sites don't give you update functionality. So the next best is they might have an update request form. So if you find that form, like, hey, fix my listing, you can send a little request that goes into our process that they'll have. If they don't have that, then you'll have to try and find their email or phone number, try and contact them and say, hey, I got this incorrect listing, can you fix it? And then as a last resort, if you can't find any contact information on the site, you could do a Whois contact lookup. Your success rate on that is going to be pretty low. A site that has no contact information, that citation is probably not that important. So when you're getting down here, you're kind of wasting your time with citation cleanup. If possible, always claim rather than create new. So some businesses are like, I got this incorrect listing on Superpages. Well, okay, I'll just make a new listing with my correct information. A lot of businesses do that. Don't do that. Way better to claim and update. So if you're too lazy for all this, we do have a service. So run by Yagoslav, and we can do all that for you. So prioritizing beyond the basics. This is, a lot of people overlook this. Let's say you put in your keywords, Insurance Agents Dallas, Insurance Agent Reviews Dallas, Texas Insurance Directory. It's really important to pay attention to the sites that come up in here. The sites that come up here are important sites to Google. So these are really critical sites that you want to have your information correct on. You also, for Barnacle purposes, you want to try and improve your listings on here. So if these sites have the ability to add reviews, then send people to these sites to review you. All of this can really help. Also look at where your competitors are getting citations. So in Whitespark, you can do a competitive analysis chart, and it'll show you where your citations are versus your competitors, like what sites they have that you don't. Now, identifying and obtaining niche citations. This can be a great ranking booster. What I like to do is I run a number of keyword searches in the local citation finder, and then you get a list of all the citations that all your competitors have in one shot. And so you just do a Control F, like so this is for a plumber in Philadelphia. If I do a Control F for plum, I find 35 sites that have plumber in the domain. So these are all sites that I could go get a citation on. Local plumbers, plumbers2.com, plumbingservicesheadquarters.com. These are all great niche citations. It's easy to find these with the LCF. And then the same thing with Philadelphia. Now I want to find city-specific citations. So I type in Phil. There's 25 of them in the competitive analysis. Philadelphia Best Plumbers, Philadelphia Speaks.com, Philadelphia Opendi.com. These are all really good sites for you to get city-specific citations on. And then you can also look for, .edu, .gov, sort of high authority sites as well. Events can be amazing for citations. So Casey Mraz has this really good post on it on the Moz blog. Let's say you have a physical location. You can have people come to your location for an education event. Let's say you are a real estate agent. So you can have people come in and you'll talk about current markets and that kind of stuff. Once you have an event planned, you can find places to submit it through something like this. And here are a few examples. So this is REI. They have an event. So put your ideas into practice. Doctors Without Border Info Center. This is at REI. They have free weekly yoga classes at a Patagonia district store. So this is building event citations for a Patagonia store. This is a great one. This is one of our clients. They do this thing as Halloween candy buyback every year. So they basically, after Halloween, all the kids come and they sell them, or they buy their candy so that it doesn't rot their teeth for like $5 a pound or something, and then the kids can take that money and do something better with it. So they buy all the candy back, and then, so look at this, they're getting citations, and they're getting news mentions as well. So this works really well for them. Sponsorships are great for citations. So this is a Minneapolis youth hockey team, and Dan's Auto Service is getting a nice citation there. Old school design, auto restoration. Look at that, they're getting a nice citation. So you can get these. This is the South Minneapolis Housing Fair, and Buck Brothers Construction. Beautiful citation there because they've sponsored this event. So sponsorships are really great for getting citations. You can find those with these search phrases. You can find a whole bunch of opportunities there. Discounts are very good for niche citations. You can, if you're offering a student discount or a senior discount or something like that, then you can get citations. So here's one from the Marriott. They have a special room rates at the Paulin Hotels at an EDU site. So this is about probably some events that they have. It's an agreement they have with the university. This is a student discount at the North Face. So they are getting a nice citation there on another EDU site, Northwest University. So you can find these with these search phrases: city in URL, in-title discounts, city student discounts. I guess that's it. That's everything you need to know about citations, ever.